Hi friends, welcome to Active Authenticity, and I'm your host, Eva Papp. And today I was thinking about the process of getting in touch with who one authentically is. And really, it's not an instantaneous thing. It's not like 1 minute we are being who we always are, and the next minute, despite all this confusion and what you do a few things, and then you are in touch with your authentic self and know how to live in alignment with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And there are really no shortcuts to the process of discovering who you are. And I like to call it a journey because, in truth, it's a lifelong process. And even though we get started and every day we could get closer to who we are and begin to act more in keeping with who we are, if we follow the principles of active authenticity, every day will bring us closer to who we are. So it's an ongoing process. So who you are today and then who you will be in a year will refine. So as time moves on, you'll get closer and closer to expressing and knowing who you truly are. But it is a journey. And as any journey, there are a few requirements to have a successful journey. And the first one is curiosity. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, oftentimes, and especially as women, we have been encouraged to look externally, and this is actually true for everybody. We've been asked to look externally to understand who we are. Parents give us information about who we are and who we should be, and all different types of cultural institutions do the same, as do religious institutions, educational institutions. I mean, literally it goes on and on and on. We are so interested and in fact need to be connected and experience that sense of belonging that exerts a tremendous pressure on getting it right, on really meeting the expectations of those around us, again, whether it's personal or cultural or whatever. In the face of this tremendous pressure, and I have to add, without the concepts and the skills that we really need, and the knowledge basically, to discover who we are authentically, we're easily sidetracked. That's the kindest word I could use. Easily sidetracked from this deep exploration of who we are. So in order to reverse this and begin to really see who we are and privilege who we are, we first have to have a curiosity about who we are, because we've never really been, I shouldn't say never. You should never say never, I'm told. Never, never, say never. Anyway, we really, for the most part, have not been encouraged to think deeply about who we are and then to act on who we are as we move through the world. And to think deeply to sustain thinking deeply about who we are requires a certain amount of curiosity, a real sustained interest in the question of who we are. And again, with so many other things, and especially as we age, starting to compete with our attention, just surviving and making a livelihood, or maybe it's raising children or caring for elderly parents, or crises or pandemics that come in and really grab our attention. Privileging who we are and really devoting curiosity to that question, it's easily minimized in the face of so much that competes for our attention daily. So the first thing to be successful on the journey of discovering who you are authentically requires sustained curiosity, something to think about. The second thing, and I'm going to share 3, the second thing is patience. Patience is not rewarded in our culture. The fast, the bling, the overnight success, the brilliant genius or artistic genius or whatever genius that emerges out of nowhere and gets it and then becomes once again another guru for so many. These are the instantaneous successes that we're used to having modeled for us. In other words, this is the height of how it's done. But in truth, real knowledge comes from applied curiosity and a third thing, which I'm going to share in a minute. And it plays out over time. And we might get a little bit of it here. And we might discover something important here. And oh, now look, they come together to create another understanding or open up another door that we didn't even know was there before, right? But in order to play at that level, one needs to have the patience and the sustained curiosity to follow the threads that will emerge as we begin to watch for who we are with the skills and the tools and the concepts of active authenticity. And then the third thing that I want to emphasize is that because it's a journey, and really a lifelong journey, one is aided by having a playful attitude about it. A playful attitude of experimentation, I should say, because part of it is going to be taking steps to explore, does this feel right or does that feel right? And I will take a step based on what I think is most true for me. And then that step is going to give me feedback. And from that feedback, I'll be able to begin to nuance and adjust and refine my understanding of who I am and the actions that truly do work for me. So there's an experimentation piece involved in this. And, we can associate so much heaviness and dutifulness when it comes to experimenting and trying things. It becomes a burden. And that is the quickest way to kill any sustained effort at anything. So if you can bring in an attitude of playfulness, and what do I mean by that? I mean let me try this. Let's see if this works. How interesting. Oh, that wasn't so great. No self-criticism or intensity around things working or not working, but really realizing, hey, I'm experimenting here and I'm learning. And can I do this in a fun way? Or what's the best way for me to do this so it's easy and enjoyable and I can stay in the game long enough to really discover those pieces that are going to help me refine my understanding of who I am. So these three things, right? Curiosity, to actually playfully experiment, and then the patience to let it unfold and to understand, knowing that this process will continue. And what happens over time is that you'll begin to act more and more in keeping with who you are as you discover who you are through this process. So I just want you to maybe have these three elements in mind as we begin talking about the journey of active authenticity. And I just want to say, I will be having a book coming out that really lays out all the steps and makes it super clear, and you could go through the process as quickly as you can. And I'm really using these small podcasts as a way to begin preparing the ground and getting you oriented so when the material hits, you'll be in the best position possible to really make use of it and move as efficiently as possibly forward. Okay, well, thank you for listening in today, and I look forward to being back with more thoughts on active authenticity. Thank you.